Welcome back to Pound for Pound ATL.
It's Pound for Pound ATL.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another rendition of the Pound for Pound. Today we're going to be talking about Mykal Walker, our 4th round pick out of Fresno State. Now, this is a draft pick that's got me pretty excited because it goes with a theme that this draft has had, which is versatility, position versatility. A lot of the guys that we drafted in this year's draft, maybe played one position in college, but are going to come in and play a different position in the NFL. So that's always interesting, and it gives me a challenge as far as breaking down some of the film. So before we really get into the film breakdown, though, I want to read some stats to you because I kind of want to play a game in a sense. I want to quiz your knowledge, right? So I'm going to read some stats, and then I'm going to let you guess which player I'm talking about. All right, first up is 127 solo tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles, 4 pass deflections, 2 interceptions. Pretty good numbers, right? All right, well, let's add some combine numbers to that. See if we can start painting a clearer picture. We had a 4.58 40-yard dash, 116-inch broad jump, 34-inch vertical, and 16 reps on the bench. All in all, those are some pretty decent numbers coming out of college, whether it be the college stats and the combine. All right, now let's go for the second player, okay? 94 solo tackles, 22.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, 10 pass defenses, 1 interception. That's pretty good numbers too. All right, now let's get into the combine numbers. A 4.65 40-yard dash, a 33-inch vertical, and a 122-inch broad jump, 20 reps on the bench. Now, I'll read you those stats, and I want you to guess what player I'm talking about. Now, obviously, one of them is Mykal Walker, because that's what we're doing the video on. That would be the second set of stats I read. The first set of stats I read, with the 127 solo tackles, the 16 tackles for loss, and the 6.5 sacks, that was De'Vondre Campbell. Now, De'Vondre Campbell played 3 years at Minnesota to Mykal Walker's 2 years at Fresno State. So it's really interesting to see how similar their stats were. And I really feel like that they played similar roles in college in the fact that they were all up and down the defensive line, playing everything from linebacker to safety to corner to defensive end. Now, both guys spent a lot of time at defensive end for their respective schools. So it was really interesting to see the kind of work that Jeff Ulbrich was able to do with De'Vondre Campbell and how he was able to translate his game from Minnesota to the NFL. I feel like he's going to be able to do a similar work with Mykal Walker because they seem like they have grabbed a real similar style player. And even down to, like I said, even down to the combine numbers and also down to the basically their size. They're both about 6'3", 230 some odd pounds. So very similar in stature. Now De'Vondre was a little bit faster at the 40-yard dash, and that's going to show up here in the film here in just a few minutes. But that's really about the only place that De'Vondre separated himself. So I really feel like that they have potentially done a good job of replacing De'Vondre Campbell because that's a player that they were going to have to replace. Right now, slated to start is Deion Jones and Foye Oluokun. Now, going towards like the end of the season, that ended up being a pretty decent pair, but some of the ways that they used De'Vondre Campbell at the end of, towards the end of the season when Raheem Morris took over as a defensive coordinator really leads to me to believe that what they're looking for is like a rush linebacker, what I'm calling a rush linebacker. A linebacker that plays real close to the line of scrimmage. You can send them on blitz. You can cover tight ends with them. You can cover running backs coming out of the backfield. That seemed like that was something that De'Vondre Campbell really excelled at, and I think that they're looking for the same type of player in Mykal Walker. So let's just kind of go ahead and get into some of the film breakdown, right? Like I told you before, Mykal Walker spent a lot of his college time at defensive end for Fresno. So trying to find some clips of him playing linebacker, there wasn't a lot out there on the internet, at least none that I've come across. So we're going to start this with showing you some De'Vondre Campbell clips, because I think that's what he's going to need to do. Like when Dan Quinn cuts up the tape and sends it out like he likes to do in the offseason, I really hope that he sends out clips of De'Vondre Campbell to Mykal Walker, because I really feel like that's how he should be playing his game. That's how he should be modeling his game. So this first clip here is De'Vondre Campbell. You see him walking down to the line of scrimmage showing a potential blitz. But when the ball is snapped, Beasley's the one that actually drops in coverage, right? So instead of it being a 5-man blitz, it just turns into 4-man rushing. But Campbell's the one that comes in on through the middle as a rush linebacker. He navigates the traffic real well, getting around the offensive lineman and delivers the sack. See, I think that's a role that I think that Mykal Walker can excel at, or at least come in, maybe not right away, but I think he can take that role and develop into a good replacement for Campbell. I like what Campbell did here in this play, and I think that that's something that Mykal Walker should strive to try to do. All right, so this second clip that I'm going to show you of Campbell, he's still playing close to the line of scrimmage here. Now he backs up a little bit before the play is actually snapped. I mean, that could be from, play recognition or whatnot, but either way, he's still playing pretty close to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't bite on the play action, which is really good to see. Man, I'm really gonna miss De'Vondre Campbell. He was one of my personal favorites. But anyway, so he does a good job not to be fooled on the play action, and follows the tight end out and makes the play. Now again, that's something that I'm looking for Walker to be able to do, is be able to read and diagnose those plays pretty well. All right, last clip here from Campbell. This one, he's just lined up straight up and down with the tight end. The tight end split off the formation. Campbell's out there with him, and he has to run step for step with the tight end, which he does in this play, and makes a real good play on the ball. Does a real good job of not allowing the tight end to catch the ball here. And these are the types of things that that I am looking for, rather, in Mykal Walker, right? So now that's clips of Campbell. Okay, again, I really hope that Dan Quinn cuts that up and sends that out to Mykal Walker. But I did find a game that Mykal Walker spent a good bit of time at linebacker, and that was the USC game. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into that. All right, so here's this first clip. It's not much of a clip, okay? I took this clip essentially just because Mykal Walker was lined up in the middle of the field, so I wanted to see how he did with the offensive lineman running dead at him like that. His defensive line didn't do him any help. That offensive lineman came pretty much unblocked right at him. He didn't have much of a chance in this play, but that's all right. He does a decent job, in my opinion, of trying to, diagnose which way the ball carrier was coming. He guessed wrong, got blocked out of it, but I was just good to see him, not essentially give up on the play. I like his tenacity there, if I guess you could say. But again, like I said, that's not much of a clip there. But his second clip's a little bit better. He's lined up in the middle. When the ball snapped, the defensive line does a little bit better job of occupying the offensive lineman, and Mykal Walker does a better job of navigating through traffic to take down the ball carrier. So right there shows to me he's able to, read the plays well, has what looks to be decent instincts, which was a knock on Campbell coming out of Minnesota, if you remember. People were saying that Campbell was real raw. So as far as ball carrier skills, like getting after a running back, Mykal Walker does pretty well. Now, I didn't really get to see a ton of pass defense type plays, at least not that of the game that I watched. But with his 10 pass defenses, I have to say that he at least has a decent job of covering covering a wide receiver or a tight end, rather, because I mean, you don't get those 10 pass defenses for nothing. So on to the next play here. Now this play right here, you got to watch really towards the end. That's what I'm trying to highlight here. Is Mykal Walker? You got a slot receiver coming over the middle, and Mykal Walker does a real good job of delivering a clean physical hit. Actually dislodges the ball here. I'm pretty sure that Coach Ben Steele, our now tight ends coach, when he was probably saw some of this stuff when he was coaching him at the East-West Shrine game, and probably relayed that back to Dan Quinn, because he made a couple real good plays on that in that East-West Shrine game. He just about tattooed a tight end. His name was Gavin, I believe the tight end was. He actually went up for the ball and braced for impact because Mykal Walker was coming at him. So that was really, really interesting to see. So I'm sure that physicality came through in film study. At least it did to me. So I'm sure the coaches up at Flowery Branch saw that. All right, last and final clip for Walker. He walks down to the line of scrimmage here like he's going to blitz. And once the ball snapped, he sees the quarterback going to dump it off to the running back coming out of the backfield. And instead of just getting jammed up at the offensive line, he sees it, diagnoses it, and makes a play for the ball. Now, this is where his lack of speed kind of comes in my opinion, because he doesn't necessarily take the best angle, and he can't catch up to the ball carrier for minimal gain. Like he eventually takes the ball carrier down, but he has to dodge one of his own guys and all this other stuff. So, but what I do like here is his play recognition and his play diagnostic there, to not just get tunnel vision and go after the quarterback, which I really honestly expected to see from a guy who spent a lot of time at defensive end. I expected him to see him, get that tunnel vision and just go head hunting for a quarterback. But if y'all saw during draft time, PFF put up a chart, and if I can find it, I'll try to put it up in the video here, but put up a chart where Mykal Walker, where he lined up at. And so he lined up in linebacker, defensive end, slot corner, safety. So he's used to being all over the field. And I think that versatility intrigued the Falcons, obviously, as far as maybe even possibly being like a poor man's version of Isaiah Simmons. Now, Isaiah Simmons obviously is a freak athlete, hence the reason why he went in the top 10. But this guy, Mykal Walker, has some of the same traits and some of the same versatility. Now, that's happening quite a bit in college. So now when they get into the NFL, they have to really figure out what position they play. Because these athletic guys, these like Joker type guys, are getting great experience, but they're not specializing. So it'd be interesting to see how Jeff Ulbrich, can bring out that ability in him, and see if it can translate to a good third linebacker. Because I think at least for this year, as it stands right now, unless they decide to go out and sign another free agent or whatever, it looks like your starting linebackers are going to be Deion Jones and Foye Oluokun. So, Mykal Walker is not necessarily going to be pressed in as a starter, since we spend the vast majority of our time in nickel defense anyway. So his playing time is going to come really in special teams. And I think, he could cut his teeth there in special teams. And with oh man, I'm not even going to try to butcher the special team coach's name. Y'all know I have issue with names. But anyway, so I think that, early on he's going to make his bones at special teams. But I think given the opportunity, he's going to start to shine as a blitzing linebacker, as a linebacker that can cover tight ends coming out and cover running backs coming out of the backfield. Kind of like, what De'Vondre Campbell made his bones at. So that's what I got for you on Mykal Walker. This is a guy who really excites me, who I think his versatility, if used right and if coached up right, can really provide a spark on this defense. Between him and Marlon Davis, and I think we have upgraded our front seven, and that kind of, that excites me. So, appreciate you watching. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. It's GRIMM1128. Toby is at TobyD1991. Hit us up on Twitter. You can leave comments down below. Like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Appreciate all the support that y'all have given this channel over the last month or so. It has been really awesome. It's been a wild ride, and we have very much enjoyed it, and hopefully we can keep providing the content that y'all enjoy. Now, as always, Falcons fans, rise up.